Our next guest is best-selling novelist and now podcast host James Ellroy. James, welcome to the South by Southwest studio. You have been munching on the delicious food here in Austin, Texas. that is a honorable growl, sir.
I feel like a hound dog here.
As you feel like in your element. You seem loose. You seem like recharged. You seem like you're having a great time.
And it's a book I wrote 20-odd years ago, and now it's a podcast.
It's amazing.
Yeah, and movies have treated me poorly, although the check has always cleared. But with podcasts, it is a seamless transposition from the novel, which is what I do specifically, to a comparable, a compatible, completely consonant form, the podcast. I read the narration, gifted actors read the dialogue. It's unabridged, it's unexpurgated. There's no actor, no director ego involved. What a blast.
And the fact that you just got into it now, because I'm thinking true crime has been just crushing it. True crime has been killing it, especially on podcasts. And I've been sitting there waiting. I'm like, yo, you got James Ellroy, master of criminal fiction, right?
Right.
How come this guy isn't making money in the podcast world?
Well, now I am, thanks to...
You got 2 podcasts coming out.
2, yeah. James Ellroy's Hollywood Death Trip, my magazine pieces. There's 8 of them that I wrote for GQ and for Vanity Fair. And then my big novel, American Tabloid.
That's a 12-parter, right?
Yeah. Time Magazine's Novel of the Year, 1995. Would Time Magazine shit you? And the answer is probably yes.
But not now.
No.
They'll
not
shoot
back
you every
in
other
95.
time, but not in 95 when they gave American Tabloid Best Book.
That's right.
You have a great podcast voice. It's got the baritone. It's got the growl. It's just something. I feel like why did it take you so long to get into this?
Now I know why God made me a bass baritone. There's that aspect to it. It's because Jimmy Jelinek and Audio Up came around at the precise right time with an offer for the magazine pieces and for the right novel. The first novel in my Underworld USA trilogy, my big story from the horrific viewpoints of the men who will, in 1958, begin to converge with the goal in mind, although not quite yet, of assassinating John F. Kennedy.
And a 12 parts, you're talking about American Tabloid.
12 parts,
12 parts, the fictional rendition of who actually killed JFK, and you have this whole conspiracy theory, you have this rich novel, sprawling characters as always.
Yes.
And specifically with that one, with this 12-part series that you're narrating, I'm sitting there thinking, this is a gold mine for a voice actor. Since we're talking about JFK real quick, I'm going to do my Mayor Quimby impression. Mayor Quimby is based off of JFK, and he's in The Simpsons. So since you did it, I haven't known this for years, but Mayor Quimby, he talks like this. He talks about eating chowder. He eats chowder, clam chowder. It's Mayor Quimby. He says he's clean, but he's not. He's dirty.
That's pretty damn good.
That's pretty good?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. And in case you need someone to cast as JFK, I'll give you my number. In case.
See, that's a more specific JFK imitation. Mine is a bit diffuse.
No, but yours has a character, electricity to it. Mine's more like I'm reading a teleprompter, but I'm going to get there. Speaking about JFK, since I have you here, who do you think actually killed him?
I think Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone.
Yeah.
And I was very much influenced in the writing of American Tabloid by Don DeLillo's great novel, Libra, in which Mr. DeLillo asserts that it is the unholy alliance of renegade CIA men, not the CIA as an entity, elements of organized crime, and right-wing Cuban exiles. And it was all about murky stuff pertaining to Cuba. And if it's not real, it's the best damn version of events that I've ever heard.
And you were able to spin this amazing yarn, American Tabloid, and it's going to be the novel that's going to launch the 12-part series, your foray into Audible.
Yes.
Before I ask you about your second podcast series, which is awesome, your favorite DeLillo novel?
Is Libra.
That
by the way, changed my life. Yes.
Changed your life.
Yeah, it got me to write the Underworld USA trilogy.
Wow. So that one is, you said, if he could do it, I'm going to put my spin on this trilogy right here.
Yes, and I credit him for attribution every chance I get.
That is impressive. Now you have this other fantastic series coming out, the Hollywood, I'm going to get it right, the Hollywood Horror Trip.
No, James Ellroy's Hollywood Death Trip.
James Ellroy's Hollywood Death Trip.
Yeah.
And the series is based upon these essays that you've written, your true crime reporting about these grisly murders that took place in the 50s and 60s in LA.
Yeah.
Right? But 8 murders, am I right on this?
Yeah.
Okay. How'd you choose which ones to focus on?
My mother was murdered in El Monte, a far-flung eastern suburb of LA County, in 1958 when I was 10 years of age. And it's what got me focused, bam, laser focus, canine focus on crime. It was an unsolved crime, unsolved for all these decades. I went back and saw my mother's murder file in '94. I read through it. It was the harrowing experience that one might think it would be. I wrote the memoir, My Dark Places, from it. I partnered up with a brilliant retired LA County Sheriff's homicide detective, attempted to find the man who killed my mother. We failed at this. So it became my long voyage of discovery with my mother. That opened up the door to me writing about, primarily for GQ, other unsolved murders of women. It's a whole sisterhood. My mother, other women who are the victims of misogynistic violence, and then I throw in, just to mix it up, the Sal Mineo murder case of 1976. And
where does the Sal Mineo case come in the series? Is it which one? Let me put it this way: which one leads it off?
It's My Mother's Killer, the first piece that I wrote for GQ.
And the last one?
Yes. Yeah. And Mineo's toward the end.
And which one of these two that you've done now, right? One's based upon your true crime reporting, real life cases, and one's this fictionalized version of your event, of your creative interpretation of the assassination of JFK, 12-part series on American Tabloid. You've done 2 now. Which one do you feel like I lean towards? You lean towards any of them?
American Tabloid.
Yeah.
It is a big, hard-charging, shit-kicking, righteous American novel, replete with marvelous actors speaking dialogue that I wrote. And it's not like movies where motivation-mauled actors get to improvise. Nah, if it's between quotation marks, it's my dialogue.
It's yours.
And I read, yeah.
And you better say my dialogue.
My dialogue. Or I'll get
it's by James Ellroy.
Or I'll get my pit bull Barco to maul your ass.
You know, people, for better and for worse, know you through the movies, right? Recently, especially this young audience, LA Confidential, Black Dahlia, right? And some other. Are you telling me that you've seen these and you're like, they have not done justice to me?
No, they have not.
Even LA Confidential, which is now, in hindsight, came out 25 years ago, oftentimes regarded as one of the best movies of the past 25 years. Got nominated, put Russell Crowe on the map, Guy Pearce.
I think it's a turkey.
Oh.
I think it's timid. It's expurgated in the extreme. It's an irreducible work of art. It is only consonant with podcast form. But
only consonant with podcast form?
Only.
Wow.
Only. It doesn't even make narrative sense. And I'm the guy that wrote the damn book, so I should know.
And so you're thinking, when it comes to translating Ellroy's work, speaking about yourself in third person, movies have tried it, failed.
Yeah.
Now we see the advent of streaming, and you have more flexibility, right? You could do an 8-parter on, say, Hulu, Apple, Amazon. You could do a 12-parter. Even with that type of flexibility, you're saying that television can't do justice to your stories.
No. What I love underneath it all, here's the ellipsis. It's the spoken word. You don't know what the people, the actors, you don't know what I look like. The people listening in on their headsets or on the radio or the computers, they don't know what I look like. They don't know what the actors look like either. They focus on my exposition, spoken by me for the entire book, and the actors.
The voice actors.
Yes.
And it's an interesting cycle where this young generation is actually going back into that oral storytelling through podcasts that you knew growing up with radio storytelling, right?
Well, I'm not quite that old.
No.
I was born in 48.
Your father and your uncles, right?
Yeah.
But it's the oral storytelling where your imagination does the rest of the work. You don't care about the makeup, you don't care about the CGI. Your mind comes up with the rest.
No.
And you feel like that is the best way to understand the Ellroy experience in novel form.
Yes, and as far as the spoken voice versus acting, there's a great line from Mark Crowley's play, The Boys in the Band, where he says, you know, one thing I'll tell you about masturbation, you don't have to look your best. And so when I sat down with Jimmy Jelinek to record this for Audio Up, I probably hadn't shaved that day.
And no one gives a shit.
Nobody gives a shit.
That's the beautiful thing about being a writer and being known as a writer.
Yeah.
You could look like a doorknob.
Yeah.
Yeah, like literally, you could be a walking doorknob, and people don't care. It's your words, it's your thoughts, it's your ideas. All the artifice is stripped away.
Yeah, but then you want to make damn sure that a great photographer like Marion Ettlinger, the great novelist's photographer, nonfiction writer's photographer, comes in and takes a picture of you where you look handsome as shit, so that
you can use that on the jacket cover. You can use that in the jacket cover for the next 30 years.
Yeah, and opportunities may arise as the result of this photograph.
I have to say this on behalf of our boss, Linda, who came here. She hasn't even said hi to us in like days, right? She's so busy doing comms for South by Southwest. But she said, James Ellroy, and you met her briefly.
Yeah.
She came here and then I feel so bad for her. She got called away. She's doing 1,000 things. I asked her right before she left, which was like 10 minutes ago. I said, favorite Ellroy novel? She goes, Black Dahlia. She goes, Black Dahlia is the best. For you, when you hear that, when you hear Black Dahlia, which again, Black Dahlia, for those who don't know, unsolved murder. One of the most grisly, grotesque, misogynistic, horrific murders in the LA scene.
Yes.
They scarred this young woman's body, mutilated her. No one knows what happened to this day. That story, why do you think it still enthralls audiences to this day?
It's a one-off murder. It occurred in LA in January 1947. It's emblematic of the time. She is part of the post-war migration to Los Angeles. She was a half-bright, good-looking young woman named Elizabeth Short from Medford, Massachusetts, who wanted to be a film star. LA was tremendously dislocated in 1947. All the lunatics, ex-servicemen coming out of the Army, the Navy, the Marine Corps, the unfathomable horror of World War II, and they wash ashore in LA. A very promiscuous time and place where they are free to live out their crazy, bebop-driven, mad dreams. One man, one woman, convergence. It's not my favorite book. My favorite book is Perfidia, my big book of the Japanese internment, the month of Pearl Harbor in real time.
And do you want to do that? Can you do that as an audiobook maybe if Tabloid takes off?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you want, that's the next one.
One hopes, yes. Actually, Jimmy Jelinek of Audio Up and I have discussed the two concluding volumes of the Underworld USA trilogy, The Cold 6000 and Bloods Are Over.
To make that arc,
Yeah.
finish it up, and then do this one.
Yeah.
And so when people come to you and they say, actually, my favorite one's Black Dahlia and LA Confidential, you sit there and go, yes, well, thank you.
Well, I'll do that one too.
Yeah, I'll take it. I'll take it.
I'll take it.
I'll take it. What you want in preparing for this, right? As I was saying, true crime. It's huge. I have friends who do the true crime podcast. I'm amazed at you got a whole community. You got people doing podcasts off of spin-off of podcasts, right? It's huge business. Did you ever look at a specific model and say, all right, these guys are crushing it. I want to do American Tabloid like this? Or is it like, nah, I'm just going to do it my way?
I didn't know about podcasts until I met Jimmy Jelinek and the other people from Audio Up.
They're the ones who reached out to you.
Yes. They explained how it's done, with the name actors reading the dialogue, me to read the narration, the period music, the sound effects, the recurrent motif of music cues, street noises.
Immersive.
Yeah, it's tremendous. You know, the flotsam and jetsam sounds, the extraneous sounds of 1958 to 1963 America.
Did they give you a teaser? They're like, hey, listen to this. This is how it's going to sound like. And were you immediately hooked? Or was the pitch in itself enough to say, I'm in?
The pitch, the money.
Yeah, I like that.
All of it.
You know what? I always appreciate when creators admit the financial aspect, because people oftentimes think, oh, you wrote a book, it's over, you can sit and relax. I saw you on TV. And I'm like, no, writers need to eat. They have mortgages, they got to pay bills.
And you know what they say about money? It's the gift that no one ever returns. The size large always fits, and the color green is always flattering.
And I hope, without giving away too much, did they give you a lot of green for this?
Give me shekels, give me pesos. Let me see their smiling faces. Give me money, 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 money. Give me that green ammunition. That's the stuff for which I'm wishing. Fill my closets with deposits. I'm a demon at addition. That's Big Jim Buchanan out of the late 1950s. It was a novelty song.
And it still works to this day. Some things are timeless, my friend.
And that's one of them.
What novel are you working on right now?
I am writing a novel set in Los Angeles in 1962.
1962. I have to ask this question because that mark that you made at the final 2 minutes that I have is your mother's murdered.
Right.
10-year-old boy. You said that how can that not make an imprint on you, right? You can always take a DeLorean back. Who knows? Hindsight's 20/20. You ever feel like, you know, hopefully that tragedy never happened. There's another 10-year-old version of James. What could you have imagined yourself doing with the rest of your life? Because you said that moment, laser focus for the rest of your life. To this day, you're writing true crime fiction. What else could you have done, you think?
I don't think we get to punch the replay button in that manner. I don't know. But I was already a withdrawn, isolated kid who had escaped into books.
And you think the writer gene was there? It was something. You would have been
the novelist.
The
gene.
novelist.
Yeah.
The novelist gene. But you've done novels. You've done journalism. You've seen your movies made into crappy movies. You've seen your books made into crappy movies. Yeah. And now you have these two awesome podcasts, one based on American Tabloid, a novel, the first one of your Underworld trilogy, and one coming out based upon your true crime reporting. Tell us where they can find it and when.
Okay. The James Ellroy's Hollywood Death Trip, my journalistic pieces that I read with bravura sound effects supplied by Audio Up, will be coming out late in June, early in July.
All right.
And we're hoping to have American Tabloid in all its 12-part glory ready for, and I realize this is sassy, November 22nd of this year, the anniversary of the JFK hit.
Be as sassy as you want, and you have amazing stars lined up, which will be announced soon.
Yes.
Thank you, James, for joining us. Good luck with the podcast ventures. Keep writing. I appreciate your time. And Linda, you've made her day by stopping by at the South by Southwest
Mr. Ali,
studio.
it's a great pleasure.
I appreciate it, sir. Thank you so much. And don't forget, you can watch all of our studio interviews on the South by Southwest TV app, available on Apple TV, Roku, Android TV, and Amazon Fire. These interviews are also available on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/SXSW. And for a complete list of our interview schedule, check out sxsw.com/studio. I'm Majat Ali. Thanks for tuning in.